Hello, welcome. This is blockchainbloom, the blockchain educator. I'm Attila Pinkini. In today's video, I'm going to talk about that since basically the 5th of February, 6th of February, Bitcoin is up 23%. And the question is now, is this just a fake out or it's time to return after going down for 5 months? So let's talk about it for sure. Also, let's check how Bitcoin closed February. Then we had Korea's Kospi down 12%. And since that, it's coming back a little bit, but it looks like many people saying that the South Korean, stock basically went up for month and month and month. And now what if it's now going all back to crypto? And this is what is causing now Bitcoin price increase. Then we see nice inflows recently into Bitcoin spot ETFs. We have Ray Dalio cautions on Bitcoin, and he's explaining why. I'm going to show you the interview. Also, let's talk about Kraken wins Kansas City Fed approval for limited master account access. So what does it mean? Because that's major and a big thing for a crypto exchange like Kraken. Also, let's talk about the possibilities. What can they do about the quantum resistance when it comes to Bitcoin? And there are, options that they should actually freeze some of the Bitcoin accounts, and is that really a possibility? Also, we have Morgan Stanley using Coinbase for custody for their future, hopefully future, because they didn't get the approval yet, Bitcoin spot ETF. Also, we have US court orders massive refund to importers. This is the big amount of money when it comes to Donald Trump's tariffs and a lot of other things in today's video. So don't forget, every single day you're getting the fresh cryptocurrency and blockchain you see on blockchainbloom in short form, so less than 60 seconds, the essence of the news. But once a week, I'm making you this video when we looking at the whole market, how it really looks like, and really understands which direction we're going. So if that's important for you to stay up to date, then simply subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the like button if you like this kind of content, and now let's do it. Okay, and for start, let's have a look at the prices. So now Bitcoin is basically up 2.5% in the last 24 hours. It is, let's refresh this because it went down since. So let's talk about it. 1%. Okay, it's down, going down now. So $72,470 US. Then we have Ethereum up 1%, about 2,110 US dollar. The top gainer today is Lombard, 37% up, OKB 35, and Kite up 70%. The top loser is Stable, not big percentage, 4% down, Near Protocol 3%, and Canton about less than 3%. So actually now today is more for the upside. And when you checking out here this candlestick chart, let's look at the weekly real quickly. It shows clearly that, we had a couple of weeks, 6 weeks in the row when Bitcoin price went lower and lower and lower. This week so far, we are right now on Thursday when I'm recording this video, we see some kind of increase. Actually, we went up all the way to this resistance level, 74,000-ish, but we couldn't go above it. But since basically here, when we're looking at the daily, since the 6th of February, so basically in 1 month time, Bitcoin went up 23%. And a lot of people are asking that, is this now a fake out? Is the time after a couple of months going continuously down to finally get the revenge? And when you're looking at here, you can see clearly that the Bitcoin price since October is just going down and down and down. And finally, we closed February with minus almost 15% decrease in the Bitcoin price. So far, March is up about 8%. And the question is, because the record was back in 2018-19 when we had 6 consecutive months when Bitcoin price went down. Now we have 5 so far. And now March is the question, but we really just on the 5th of March, right? At the beginning of it. So it could be anything, basically, when it comes to Bitcoin price. And when we're looking at this one here, you know, we have this Korean stock, basically Kospi, went down significantly. These news came out yesterday when the whole Asian market done, but Kospi is the one which went down the most. And when we have here the South Korean stocks, some people argue that it went up for such a long time, and now money may be rotating back to crypto, and this is why Bitcoin is going up. Okay, this is just a theory, but why not? It could be possible because, as you can see, since Kospi is going up, we see Bitcoin price going down. When Kospi started to go down, Bitcoin started to go a little bit up, to be honest with you. But let's see how this continues. It's too early to say anything. One important thing which you should highlight is how usually midterm years work when it comes to Bitcoin. And these are here the different years. So when you're looking at 2014, 18, 22, and now we have 2026. This is the green one. And here you can see the white one, and that's the average of all these years. And look, we are exactly where the average is. And usually, as you can see here, between the 37th and the 89th day, some point, there is some kind of recovery. But then, when we're looking further, then we can see that even in average, the dump for Bitcoin price continues. But we can see usually around here recovery, and this is usually a dead cat bounce. The question, will this be a dead cat bounce as well? And of course, when there's some hype in the market, then also we can see inflows into Bitcoin spot ETFs. For weeks, we had now outflows in summary. But now we have 3 big days like 458, 225, and yesterday $461 million inflow into Bitcoin spot ETFs. With this in this week, more than $1 billion inflow. So we haven't seen this amount for a while. Actually, this here it was also some significant one. But maybe after a couple of weeks, just going down. When we sum it up the weekly amount, now there are some inflows, but how long it will take, this is what we really don't know. Right, let's talk about Ray Dalio, because Ray Dalio is a well-known expert when it comes to finance, and he was also the one who said it's good to have some of your portfolio in Bitcoin, and actually it increased it over the years. But now Ray Dalio cautions on Bitcoin, saying there is only one gold. So Ray Dalio said that gold is better safe haven asset in times of conflict compared to Bitcoin, and raised concerns about cryptocurrencies' lack of privacy. Here we have the interview, so let's check it out what he's saying about Bitcoin.
Okay, so Bitcoin does not have privacy. Any transactions can be monitored and then indirectly perhaps controlled. Central banks are not going to want to buy Bitcoin and being able to hold it. So it's not just individuals, it's institutions and so on, but most, and central banks, so that there are attributes of that. There has been some question or thoughts of the development of, new technologies like quantum computing and so on. Can there be issues regarding that? And then there's, who owns it and what are the other exposures that they have in their portfolio. It tends to have a pretty high correlation with the tech stocks. So from an ownership, just the supply demand is affected by, if somebody gets squeezed in one thing, they sell something that whatever else they have. So there are those dynamics. It's a long way, and it's a relatively small market that's a relatively controllable market. I think a lot of attention has been given to Bitcoin, but as a money, it's small in relationship to gold, and so those are the dynamics. There is only one gold.
What about silver?
So it's interesting, right? Well, what he's saying again. I can agree with the one that Bitcoin does not have privacy because, whatever gets on the blockchain stays on the blockchain. It's immutable. And as soon as, we have these KYCs, all these kind of things, people figure out your address, then they know exactly how much Bitcoin you own. And that's why maybe it's not the best for central banks, as he said. Also, the question about quantum computing. However, talking about quantum computing issues, we have here Bitcoin may face hard fork over any attempt to freeze Satoshi coins. And here's, there's a long argument. You can read this article for yourself. You can find it in here on Bitcoin, what was it, magazine by Cointelegraph. Yeah. But saying that the only way to make Bitcoin post-quantum secure is for owners of the private keys to move it to the secure address themselves. So even after BIP 360 is activated and after the post-quantum signature seems is eventually added, between 30 and 18% of the total supply will remain vulnerable addresses. That would potentially leave a honeypot for quantum attackers worth up to $270 billion US. So the obvious solution is to make these coins non-transferable so they can't be stolen. Jameson Loop co-authored QBIP, which would prevent coins from being sent from quantum vulnerable addresses after a deadline of 3 years after BIP 360 activation. 5 years after that, funds in those addresses would no longer be able to be sent. And this is a huge argument about this. So what they should do about it. And, many people arguing here that actually in our lifetime, quantum will not be an issue. Others saying, no, the time is ticking and we should do something about it. And we should start really early because, to change anything in Bitcoin, it takes a lot of time. And this is something that it's impossible to get, agree here on things. Or should be they should froze them or lose those coins, how they can protect basically Bitcoin. So I know what you think about it. You can let me know in the comment section, but this is definitely a big issue. Right. Then we have Kraken. Kraken wins Kansas City Fed approval for limited master account access. And this is also big because they're the very first one in crypto. So the US cryptocurrency exchange Kraken's banking unit has been granted limited purpose master account by the US Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, giving it direct access to the Fed's core payment system in the first for the crypto industry. So Kraken Financial, the exchange's banking unit, has gained access to the Fed's payment system, FedWire, allowing it to move money on the same rails used by banks and credit unions. So this is also big, and these are the first guys in this crypto. They got this, and maybe other exchanges will get it as well. But the direction which we're going, I think that's important. Right. Other things. Talking about Morgan Stanley, probably they're also going to use just like BlackRock, Coinbase for custody. Their Bitcoin spot ETF hasn't been approved yet by the SEC, but this is the direction they're saying or going. Okay, and this is another interesting things. We have Trump's tariffs, and the Supreme Court said they are illegal, and now they're saying here that the U.S. court orders massive refunds to importers. Federal Trade Court ruled out companies must be refunded tariffs previously struck down by Supreme Court, potentially totaling about 130 to 175 billion with interest. And how this is going to all play out, that's also kind of interesting thing. A lot of uncertainty here on the market. Not talking about the weekend situation, haven't even mentioned the big one yet, which is the Iran conflict, which start to escalate now, and other countries getting also involved. So we have that already for a couple of days on. By the way, we have the CPI coming out next week on the 11th of March. So far, since September, we have really a downward trend, which is good. So a decreasing inflation, but let's see how this will turn out. It's coming out next week. The chances, by the way, for a rate cut at the next FOMC meeting, which will be on the 18th of March, so in 2 weeks time pretty much, it's very, very slim. And also when we're looking at April, it looks like it's not going to happen, at least at this point. June, the same. July, also not. September, it's a maybe. So the first half of this year, it's not happening. It's also not good for the liquid market. But yeah, let's see with the new Fed chair and so on and so forth. So these kind of things still can change. And you know, the usual weekly initial jobless claims came out, and as you can see here, the actual is 213,000 for this week, and you can see it's less than the forecast. On the other hand, it's higher than the previous week it came out. So the whole uncertainty things on the market continues. Yes, we can see now Bitcoin getting a little bit stronger, but guys, if you zoom out, you can see just Bitcoin, just look here. We are basically back in price where we were here on the 4th and 5th of February. So basically 1 month before. And we're looking at the big picture. Where are we from these all-time highs and everything? So this is, yeah, something which it looked great now, and it's a bigger move in the last month since we had this bigger dump, and now we're moving here sideways. The question is, you know, this is really just a fake out, and then we just continue the downward trend. It's too soon to say here anything. I would be cautious, to be honest with you, but this is me. I still believe we can go lower. I'm not, you know, saying that we're going to extreme lows or something like that, but I'm not sure that we have found the bottom. So I'm careful at this point, but this is me. You do whatever you feel comfortable with. Guys, don't forget, every single day, you're getting fresh cryptocurrency and blockchain news here on Blockchain Bloom to keep you up to date. Short videos from Monday to Sunday, the essence of the news in less than 60 seconds. And every week you have this summary video when we look the whole week at what's happening. So with these videos, I really, really would like to save you time. I don't want you to every single day spend hours and hours in YouTube videos to get the most important things. You're getting short videos, and once a week, you know, have a quick overview about the market, and then you can stay up to date and you can focus on your own things. This is what I'm aiming for with this channel. And if you like this kind of content, you can like it. Thank you very much for it, and see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.